I almost thought today wasn't gonna happen.
It kind of didn't up until
Yeah.
right now.
I mean, it's 10. Yeah, it's 10:11.
10,
It's
11.
10:11.
A sacred number.
Yeah. Sure. 1 hour ago would have been wild. You get what I mean?
It's 1 hour ago in daylight savings.
It's 1 hour ago right now over the Pacific Ocean.
Atlantic.
So,
In
no,
Antarctica.
no, actually, it's to the west, bro. So like in the middle of the Pacific Ocean, it's 1 hour ago.
That's not true. But we are back.
We made it. This is episode 12.
Episode 12.
Episodic adventure numero 12.
We've had many technical difficulty. But
Yeah. Well, yeah.
nonetheless, we have pressed on thus far.
Exactly. But no. So Chris, how you doing today? How's today been?
It feels like a long day. I feel like I woke up early, but I really didn't. Not necessarily.
No? Yeah, I woke up late today. I woke up late as fuck. Oh, I forgot we smoked earlier today. That's fun.
Good time.
And Chris actually came prepared today. He had a couple topics
Oh
that
yeah.
he wanted to discuss. Which I mean, let's start out by saying this past week, Joe Rogan released a podcast with Edward Snowden.
Yeah, that was cool.
That
That's
was
kind of trippy
super
timing.
cool. Yeah, real trippy. It's wild.
But yeah, that's really cool. It was good from what I've heard.
It's
so far.
really good. I watched the whole thing.
Really? Already? How did you have time for that? No, I'm just kidding.
I literally last night I spent I just watched it for 3 hours from like midnight to 3.
I was gonna be like, it's like 2 hours and 50 minutes, bro.
Yeah.
Come on.
I watched it while I played 2K.
That's cool.
But it's wild. And Joe Rogan barely speaks. Like he basically just
I
keeps
know.
he basically just keeps Edward Snowden's conversation going, you know? Like
I think Ed is speaking in code.
I don't think he's I don't know. I don't think so.
I
But
think he enunciates and like fills in a lot. So it almost seems like he's filling for a reason.
I don't know. I think he just finally had a long platform to talk about everything that went down, and he used it to talk about everything that happened in his life.
I wish he would have read his own audiobook. Because I bought the audiobook.
Yeah.
It's not the same.
But it's not him?
No. I was like, you totally could have read it.
Probably not, though. He'd probably have to come to America to record it.
Nah, just send him an MP3.
Maybe. It could have happened. But so, for those of you who don't know, Snowden is the person who came forward in 2013, and he came forward and said that the NSA and the CIA and the government basically is just spying on you 100% of the time. You know, anything that they can regulate, they were regulating. You know, and so they were trying to actually say that they weren't doing these things. They were in courts. They were testifying. They were saying that none of these things were happening. And then right after, Snowden comes out and he's like, no, like, that's a lie. And he basically gets exiled from the United States. He leaves the United States and he's trying to lose, I guess, the American government. And he goes to Russia where America actually deactivates his passport, and that's why he's in Russia. He was actually going to go to Latin America, and he talks about that in the podcast, but it's crazy. So like he's stuck in Russia. He's living like basically a free life, but it's crazy, dude. Like
I couldn't imagine being him.
it's like some fucking Bourne Ultimatum shit. Like,
Dude, I
literally.
love those movies.
Like, he's Matt Damon.
Yes. Or Hawkeye.
Jeremy Renner.
Yeah.
Yeah, that guy. But yeah, so what did you want to bring in today to talk about Snowden?
I think with Snowden, it's kind of interesting how much he admits. Like with 9/11, he wasn't saying like 9/11 was faked,
Yeah.
but he also said they knew more than they claim. It's almost like they let it happen on purpose.
No, yeah. I'm pretty sure that's what happened.
No,
Like,
yeah, but that's the crazy part. It's like he's just straight up telling us, like, yeah, they really did that, and people don't believe him because it seems like science fiction. It seems like fake and not real. But like he legit worked in there. He grew up. His parents worked in there. His mom was like in the NSA, and his dad was
a military. No,
yeah.
his mom is a in the court system, and his dad was a National Guard.
I don't know. His mom also did NSA in the book. That's what he said.
Oh, I don't know. I know that he said that his mom was working for a court system and was still working there now. Um,
Hmm.
but yeah, they're both government people. So he was talking about how it was pretty much destined for him to work in the government. But
Yeah, but I think like he has credentials enough to be trusted with what he decides to tell us.
yeah, and I don't think he would have a reason to lie. I mean, like if he comes to America, he's getting basically life in prison under the Espionage Act. And do you know what the espionage thing is? The law that they're charging him under? So basically, I forget what kind of law he said it was, but this type of law, the jury is not allowed to consider why you did the crime. They're only allowed to consider if you did the crime or not. So basically, he did this crime in order to tell the American people the truth. And that's something that everybody should do, they should tell the truth. They should not hide things from the public.
Yeah.
But the jury isn't allowed to take that into consideration. They just are allowed to take into consideration whether or not he did it. So it's the only, it's not the only, but it's one of the only laws where no matter what, it's just guilty or not guilty. If you murder somebody, you could say, oh, that was self-defense,
Yeah.
Like, I had to do this in order to, save myself. Snowden is like, why can't I get that same treatment, I think it's bullshit. It's not a fair trial. It's not.
No.
Because obviously he's guilty. Like, he's admitting that he's guilty. But, I don't know. It's stupid. The government fucks up so much shit.
Free my homie Snowden.
For real. Chris, how high are you?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm not high at all.
Really?
Yeah.
Here you go.
Shit. But, I don't know, dude.
These lights are really intense right now. They're like, whoa.
But so, what else did you want to talk about Snowden?
Oh, I think he's speaking in code, possibly to people who can help him, or to people who he knows, outside. It's almost like Morse code though. Like you have to know what's up. Like you have to know the language to understand what he's saying. And I've been noticing it in Navy SEAL videos. They have a lingo that if you say XYZ, it makes them laugh, but it's not funny. It doesn't make sense. But then they keep doing that. They have a pattern of doing that to where it's like, why are you guys laughing at yeah, the cow goes moo, but that means something to them. You know what I mean? There's codes. I feel like Snowden has some codes in his brain that he's broadcasting on Joe Rogan.
Really?
Yeah. And that's why Joe Rogan didn't talk that much, because he's letting Snowden broadcast his message, basically. He's giving him the opportunity to speak to the masses, to have a jury of his peers, in a sense. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I feel like, and I feel like what he was saying speaks to the truth of the matter. You know, it's not like it's not made up and fake and fabricated. It's like true, and it's realistic, and the like the government is watching pretty like severely, and we deserve to know about it. That's what Andrew Yang is kind of saying with the whole like Amazon excess taxes on those types of companies.
Yeah.
Is that like Facebook, Instagram, most of your social medias have been profiting off of your patterns.
No, yeah, literally all of the social medias are profiting off of your data.
Mm-hmm.
They're selling your data.
Yeah.
That's what these ads are. That's what all these things are. Is companies are selling your data. And you give your data away for free.
Which is
when
why
it's
I'm
this
like
valuable.
super down for like, all right, give me $1,000 for that.
No, yeah,
Like,
exactly.
it's like a royalty check. It's like, yeah, I'm doing that. I know you're listening.
No, exactly.
Instagram.
Dude, anyway, if we talk about a product right now, I'll get fucking commercials for it today.
We should talk about a product that we don't really do anything with, and if one of us gets it, we'll screenshot it and post it right here.
Okay, bet.
But like, what's something that you don't use that I don't use, like that it's like a product.
Let's talk about beer. Coors
Yeah.
Light. Coors Light. All right.
Okay.
Let's talk about Coors Light.
Coors Light.
So, basically, I really want to get some Coors Light. You know, like Coors Light. It's a light beer. It tastes like nothing. It tastes like water.
It's like core.
Like core. It's light core.
Corey.
It's a light core though. You know.
Yeah, it's like not so deep of a core. It's like
Coors Light is like it's the silver bullet.
It's like Cardi B. It's like cool.
But yeah, okay. So now that we've talked about Coors Light, I bet you on Instagram we'll get a Coors Light commercial, like either today or tomorrow
or Twitter.
I don't know. I don't really get ads on Twitter that much.
No, I see tweets.
Oh, about shit that you were talking about? Oh, that's weird.
It's like it categorizes the tweets for me. It's like, well, you were talking about this.
Well, because didn't we see like all the stuff on Instagram that it's listening to? Like, can't you see it on Instagram in a list form?
You can see how it's categorizing what it's listening to.
Yeah, which is crazy. You can go in there and look at all the shit that you've like said and that it's listened to. It's in a list. It's in a list on Instagram. Literally just in the settings. You can just go look and see the list. It's wild. And that's our data. That's the data that they're selling to advertisers. That's why we get random emails. That's why all of these things happen.
Exactly.
Some crazy shit, bro.
So, to be honest, you kind of deserve $1,000 a month.
Who?
You.
Me?
Like everybody.
Oh, yeah. Like Andrew Yang?
Yeah.
Talking about? Yeah, the $1,000 base income or whatever.
Yeah.
Universal income. Yeah. No, yeah, exactly. But I mean, obviously, there's gonna be people that take advantage of it. You know.
Yeah, but I think it would help so many people that, in the long run, it might not even affect. So many people would use it for the right thing that the few people who misuse it, which, yeah, we know there will be some, but they won't be as relevant. You know what I mean? They'll be like, oh, really, man?
Because, like, there will be so many people that actually use it to do good things. You know?
$12,000.
a year to just put into your passion, to put into what you want, you know?
Yeah.
Because if you already have a job, that's paying for your bills. You're getting this extra $1,000. That's for you, you know. Or if you don't have a job, that $12,000, that's for you to do with what you will. Some people will fuck it up. Some people will use it to do good things. Some people like are so busy to either taking care of other people or just doing other things that they can't really get a job at the current moment, you know. And that $1,000 will be like their salary. They actually get something back, you know?
Yeah.
Instead of just not getting anything and doing so much work that just gets like unappreciated. It would be really good.
I feel it.
I just don't know if it'll happen just because people will be like, oh, but so many people will take advantage of it. Oh, we can't afford that. We're in debt. Oh, like these things.
I think Andrew Yang could do it. I don't know if anybody else has really been even entertaining the idea. I don't think so, not necessarily.
No.
But I think he could do it for both sides of the equation. Like, even Ben Shapiro was saying, like, Andrew Yang is the only sane person.
On the Democrats?
Yeah, but, like, it's true in a sense.
Andrew Yang.
He's one of the
only
few.
sane person on the Democrats.
You sound like Obama.
I know. I meant to sound like Shapiro. That was a good Obama, though.
Yeah, it was. I mean, totally unintentional, but we're getting there. All you got to do is Shapiro.
Yes, Christopher.
Obama.
We will work on the podcast, and it will get done
It helps
edited
move your hand.
tonight. If only I had a suit, but not the jacket, just the shirt and a tie, loose.
He always says, "No, let me
No.
be clear. Michelle and the two girls, they're having the time of their lives.
So what if she smokes a little reefer?
Little
It
reefer.
happens.
Look,
I did some in college.
back in
Not
college,
proud of it.
did a little blow.
Whoa,
Did a little blow.
me. I did blow.
Obama's funny, man. I like that guy.
I like Obama.
He's funny.
He wasn't the greatest president, but he definitely wasn't the worst. You know, like I don't know, like I'm indifferent towards his presidency, but I like him as a person. You know,
Yeah, I don't really know his presidency.
I mean, listen,
I'm ignorant.
technically, one of our best presidents was Bill Clinton. Like, for the nation, you know, like he got rid of the debt completely.
Really?
Yeah, during his term, our debt went down to $0, and that was the last time. But then he got to get, like, some head in the office, and fucking shit hits the fan. Shit hits the fan.
Yeah.
But this all ties in with Snowden because yeah. And, yeah, all right. So, Chris, what else did you want to talk about? Oh, Alexa and Google Home type shit.
Yeah. And
'Cause,
even like the ads thing.
Yeah, that goes. That definitely goes with that. 'Cause Spotify Premium is giving away Google Home Minis, which is sick. I love it. I got one. I had to get one. It was free. A free $50 speaker. I mean, why pass it up? But they do listen to you. So, like, Chris didn't want the Google Home Mini because he said it would listen to him. I think he's still going to get it, though, because it's a free speaker, basically. But maybe that's what they want. Spotify is teaming up with the NSA.
I mean, even if they're not teaming up, they're being used.
Yeah, true. I was hearing about, well, I wasn't. It was in the Joe Rogan podcast for Snowden, but the NSA was listening, or they had like secret rooms in telecommunication buildings. So like Sprint, AT&T, and stuff like that. They had secret servers where they could just go in there and access every record.
It makes sense, and honestly, I'm not as mad at it as I should be.
No, yeah, neither am I. But it's kind of
But
like,
yeah, it's really weird.
but low key, it would kind of be cool to live in like a dystopian future, and just be part of the Renaissance, be part of the fucking like revolution. Wouldn't it be cool to be a part of a new revolution?
Dude, I think I was thinking like the Renaissance is such a cool period
Yeah,
that I would like want to have. I think that's a cool brand name, like the Renaissance
Renaissance.
or just Renaissance. Yeah, just something or something to do with it. Even I think that's cool. But you can have like different art and stuff.
That'd be sick. Because Renaissance is just rebirth, you know? It's a rebirth of ideas, a rebirth of the world as it is, as it was, and as it is now, you know? Like, dude. I was thinking about that Chance tweet when he was like, Renee Sauce or whatever.
That's funny.
Ah. I took a Claritin D, but my nose is still stuffed. It's pissing me off. My sinuses. Dumbass fucking sinuses. Anyway. But no. Like, I don't know, dude. I be playing these fucking video games, and they're in, like, dystopian futures with, like, dictators and shit. And I be overthrowing governments and shit. And now I'm like, fuck, it'd be cool to overthrow a government. Like, it'd be pretty fucking cool.
I mean, in theory, yeah, it's cool, but in all honesty, it's kind of not.
Like, bro, what if we just, like, overthrew the government and we were just, like, us and then, like, Andrew Yang is our Renaissance leader. Just, like, new revolution leader. And then the $1,000 a month is to just build weapons. And we all just build weapons and then take down the government, bro.
You guys, I'll watch.
You wouldn't help me. You'd be the IT guy.
No.
You'd be Oracle. You'd be in my ear, directing me, right? I could see this happening in real life, years from now. I'm like a 32-year-old soldier, scar on one eye. It's all in here. It'll become a movie one day. All right. So, Chris,
Yes.
what was your third topic you wanted to talk about? Because I forget completely. Because those two topics were basically covered together.
Simulation.
Oh, yeah. So, what do you think about the simulation? You think you cracked the code?
I don't know. I don't know if there ever really is a code. But I do think that something that not a lot of people who talk about the simulation talk about is if it's a simulation, we have the opportunity to change things within our environment. I don't know. Have you ever watched Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.?
No.
No? It's pretty good.
Nope.
It's on
But
Netflix.
I know
Or
exactly
was.
what you're talking about.
No, I don't know if you do.
Yeah, I do. Because, okay, so Sword Art Online. The whole game takes place in a simulation, right?
Yes.
Like, it's a simulated VR world. The main thing that Kirito is trying to figure out in his head, like, he's always thinking about it, is just, like, whether or not there's a real difference between the simulation and real life. Like, why isn't his life in the simulation as important as his life in real life if it feels just as real, you know? That's his whole mindset. And so the point is like, when Kirito is fighting Heathcliff at the top of the tower, well, floor like 80 something. He didn't make it all the way to the top. Maybe it's floor 78. But he's fighting Heathcliff, and you watch that episode, and Kirito gets stabbed through the stomach by Heathcliff. He's dying, and he basically dies. But then while he's dying, he picks up a sword and kills Heathcliff with it. Like, that's not supposed to happen in this simulation, but his human like power changed the simulation for him personally to like he was like, no, I'm not gonna die.
Like Neo.
Exactly. And that's what you're talking about, right? Is
Yeah.
like the
Yeah.
human part being able to change the simulation. He changed the simulation when he didn't die.
Yeah. The reason though that I was thinking about it was this like reference to the Agents of Shield,
Uh-huh.
and this robot has a simulation that everybody is in, and they kind of like show you what each person's simulation is, and it's all it is something to calm your brain, you know,
Uh-huh.
and so that you don't resist the simulation but you accept it as your reality. But each person is different, and so they have to keep tweaking it. And what they found out was that perfection, you couldn't make it perfect because you never accept that as reality. So you had to bring in problems so it would feel realistic. But it's like weird the way they talk about it.
The simulation. It could all be real. We don't know. That's the whole point. Really, is that we don't know, right? Like if we knew, then we would know, but we don't know, so we don't know. You know?
I know.
The bars. The bars are hefty tonight, bruh. Jet fuel can't melt steel beams, motherfuckers.
Hey, talk to Snowden.
Talk that shit, Tim. Yeah, what up? But all right, Chris. So, like, if it is a simulation, what type of simulation is it? Is it like a Matrix-like simulation?
Possibly.
Like, are we all plugged in somewhere?
It would make sense that somehow we're plugged in. Possibly that it was like pre-world crisis, and we all of our consciousness are just our consciousness living out the fullest extent of what we believe consciousness to be. What almost like what Walt Disney is probably doing underneath the
Disneyland?
yeah. So like you know how when you're in a coma nobody talks to you, but you could experience stuff in a coma?
Yeah.
It's almost like that. Like if you were able to bring back consciousness in the future tense, the consciousness would have a life and death within the waiting room.
Would you be able to control that life?
Well, that's the thing. Once you realize that it is that, then you probably can.
Like a lucid dream.
Yeah.
Once you realize you're dreaming, you can control that dream.
Yes. And so I mean, look at the world. Here,
Wait, so it basically is just living life through a dream then?
yeah.
Like the simulation is a forced dream, basically.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a forced dream. And if it is a forced dream, then the intent is to keep you asleep. So if you begin to question it accommodates for you so that you don't anymore.
Oh, so if you begin to question it, it like makes it better so that you don't question it?
Yeah, exactly.
So if we start questioning it, all right, bet.
Like, look at it like a Joe Rogan, Eddie Bravo type thing. Like 6 years ago, they were questioning it and they looked crazy. Now they're questioning it and we're all like, yeah, that's right. What about that?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, the perception has changed. Like, Eddie Bravo with long hair looks kind of crazy.
Eddie Bravo always looks crazy.
He does. But, like, with long hair, he just looks like a surfer dude. He's just like, but his hair is just like,
I don't know, dude. Like, if it is a simulation and if we do question it, what if they're like, oh, fuck this? Like, they're questioning this shit, just kill him.
well, that's why you gotta be careful.
Like, you gotta question it enough for them to be like, okay, stop questioning it.
Have you ever seen the movie Eagle Eye?
With Shia LaBeouf?
Yeah.
No.
Okay.
I know
it's really
it's
good.
an old movie. Like, I know
Yeah.
the movie, but I never saw it.
It's really good. You should watch it. Uh, but in that movie, basically, somebody transfers $3 million to his account, has explosives and guns delivered to his house in his name, and he gets a phone call saying the FBI is coming. You need to leave now. And he doesn't leave, and he gets arrested. And then he asks for his one phone call, and then he goes, "You have 5 minutes to escape. Get out now." And the door opens, and he's able to run and whatever. And so basically, uh, like there's a robotic controller. They gave AI to traffic cams and cameras and stuff, and it became really smart. But what it started doing was calling out missions, uh, using people against each other. So there was this woman that ends up having to help Shia LaBeouf, and they both have to kill people. But it's all because this voice calling them has her son and knows where her son is. And, she knows his son is on a train, and she can derail the train at any moment if she was to not comply. And the way she knows she'll comply is she has cameras everywhere. She has access to every camera in the world. So you can't escape.
Bro, what the fuck?
It's a trippy show. It's a trippy movie.
Damn.
But basically, you would get a call. Timothy, you have 5 seconds to do this or else. And they would show you how they got the or else. And then so essentially if life was like that, right? That you can only question up to the point where it becomes alarming. And that's why a lot of visionaries die really young, I think. Is because they're too visionary.
They're thinking too much about it.
Yeah.
About the system and why it's a system.
Yeah. I think ultimately the system was made to be enjoyed. And most of them find that at some point. But at the same time, they're questioning why they're still here after they've enjoyed it. They're like, okay, now it's weird.
It's a fucking trippy thing to think about. So do you think we're in a simulation, Chris?
I think that no matter what, we have capabilities that we have not yet unpacked.
Do you think that the reason that you time travel is because we're in a simulation?
No. I think time travel is out of the simulation.
Like outside of it?
Yeah.
And you've seen all the different versions of the simulation.
Yeah, and then you have you have one life. You have one physical life. But you can see it infinitely. If you get to the point where you could see it. Most people really will never get to the point where they could see it, but they can find things that mirror it, things that inspire it. They can find it, and it, that's where you get the artists or the CEOs, those people who do crazy things all week long, and then they got yachts and all that.
It's gonna be us.
Those people though, they know something.
True, they do.
I think something that is very I don't know if it's taught or not taught or kept in, but not caring what other people think is a really big thing that we all do. Look at anybody who you respect. J.K. Rowling is a millionaire, possibly a billionaire, because of Harry Potter. But she was rejected over 10 times by publishers for the book. She couldn't even get a publisher to want to publish Harry Potter. It's renowned as this
I love
literature
Harry Potter, bro.
art form.
I fucking love Harry Potter.
Right. Me
Like,
too.
I read every Harry Potter book
I did not.
before 5th grade. I literally read all of them before 5th grade. All the way through the Deathly Hollows.
How was that?
It was great. I loved it. I loved it so much. My cousin Ethan got the box, like the chest with all of them in it. And then he wasn't reading them. So I was like, bro, let me read them. And then he let me read them. So I was like, okay, cool.
Hey, that's cool though.
Yeah. But yeah, I read all of them. Which is kind of crazy because, like, 5th grade.
I never read them.
Really?
I was lazy. I didn't.
You watch the movies?
Yeah.
I like the movies.
The movies are good, but I don't know any kind of reference. Really. Like, I read one, but I can't even remember which one I read.
You got to read all of them. They're really long, though.
No, I don't. I have a bad attention span.
I know. Trust me. Trust me. I know.
No. Wait. Okay. So, but J.K. Rowling,
Yeah.
like, she is respected in the literature community right now because of her accolades, because she's made millions of dollars and it turned into like a crazy franchise. And people play the game that she made up in her brain. You know, they play Quidditch in real life.
I love Quidditch. I wish Quidditch was real. Like,
That's what I'm saying though. Like, she made that up in her brain. She was like, what's a game? And then she's like, Quidditch. It's like dodgeball and soccer. Cool. And basketball. You know what I mean? Like, she just mixed a bunch of things. And we're all
yeah.
like, yeah, that's the best thing
On
I
a
ever heard of
broomstick,
JK.
though. But it's on a broomstick, though.
No, I know. But, like, imagine, like, a VR where you could do that. You know what I
No,
mean?
that's
You
what
just
Sword
go
Art
like
is. That's what I want it to be. A full body VR, dude.
But what the truth is that, like, the people that told her no probably felt dumb.
No, yeah.
And
It
it's
is.
just because they were holding on to weird standards of, like, literature. It's not because her work was bad. You know what I mean? Like, a lot of times people get this, what's it called? Like, a negative response, and they go, oh, well, it must be me. But really, it's them.
Yeah.
Like, J.K. Rowling was a genius, whether anybody saw it or not. And I think they say it took, like, I want to say 31, but it might be 21. But either way, to have a book you're trying to publish, to go through 20 people or 30 people before somebody says, yeah, you probably feel dumb. Just like going into the next one.
Yeah.
Just like they're just gonna say no. They're just gonna say no, and then finally somebody says yeah, and then you all become like millionaires.
Exactly. Yeah, no, for sure.
It's crazy,
It's super sick, though. I like it.
but I see that as uh
It's
continuous.
consistency.
Yeah. Well, I see that as something that people can do on a regular basis. Like, it's just anybody can do this. You just have to do it.
Yeah. Exactly.
And that's what I was talking about earlier about, like, Andrew Scholes and Russ. Because Andrew Scholes talks about how he put out a clip of comedy a week for like a year or two, and then he really started taking off. And it's true, just consistency takes you far, because other people create, like you know how you could, like, I could literally go into the bathroom, grab whatever's in the bathroom, like some Windex and whatever, spritz it on like a canvas and put it in like an art museum, and somebody will look at it and be like, I bet the painter was feeling really depressed. And you make up this whole thing in your brain for art, but it's never really an exact replica of what the artist was trying to do anyway.
Yeah.
And sometimes, like, your mind can be fooled into believing something. So you could see my crappy, trashy painting, and you could be fooled into believing it's fine art and that it's grainy for a reason. And I think that's what the world is. The world is people who are capable convincing other people that they are capable, even if they're not capable, which is weird.
I also see like a lot of people just like stop. Like people don't follow through with things, you know? They'll start something, they'll do it a couple times. They get like halfway done and they're just like, okay, no. You know? They don't wait till that 100%.
Yeah.
Like they stop at like 45, maybe 35, you know? They just stop in the like almost in the middle, you know? You got to get over the hump before you start the decline. You know, like it's going to get worse before it gets better. It's like cleaning your room, like how I was telling you. It's literally like cleaning your room. Like it's going to get worse before it gets better. You're going to make a mess. You're going to make a mess of things. You're going to throw everything in the middle and just get it all, like you're just going to get everything ready. It's going to look terrible, but you know that like as soon as you hit that hump where it looks terrible, it's just going to start looking better from there. Like you start getting putting things in their places. Things start clearing up. It only gets better after it gets to the worst, you know? But people don't think it's going to a lot of people don't think it's ever going to get to the worst part, you know? They think it's just a slow, like steady uphill battle the entire time.
Yeah.
But it does get better. There's a top to that hill, and you'll eventually start the decline.
Well, that's the thing. It's weird because there's a top to every single hill that you ever want to do.
Yeah.
Like name something. There's something you could do. And the thing is, you can make it. If there's not something, you could just make it. And people will follow you because people are followers.
Yeah, dude.
Dude, it's weird how much you can play on that stuff.
Like that fucking personality test that you had me take. We did this personality test.
Yes.
And, I mean, I answered it as truthfully as I could, right? But I feel like some people don't answer it as truthfully. Like, they put what they want, like, what they think people want to hear. They put that instead of answering it truthful to them.
Yeah.
You know? It's scary. It's manipulative. But you were what were you saying about it? Oh, that like people could feel like they're that type of person, but like it's deep down and they're like pushing it away.
Yeah, I think reputation pushes down a lot of people's natural feelings. So like, you know,
Like the follower thing,
yeah.
basically.
Yeah,
Like,
we're very tribal,
yeah.
like clanny. We like to get into cliques.
And you like to be the first one to do it.
Yeah. And you like to be the big one, the one that people look up to.
Yep.
And it is like addicting. Like there's a part of it that I can totally understand why people even want it. I don't know. It just comes at such a cost, because if you you know, if you mask yourself like that, you never even know who you are for real. And the thing is, you're masking yourself for people who don't really care about you, because I mean, it's like age old. Like everybody knows this, but like if you're doing something for a friend and your friend wouldn't do that back for you, or doesn't understand like specific situations, then they're not necessarily your friend. Like little kids, I've been watching little kids a lot, like Noah.
Yeah.
I'm just like, oh my gosh, you guys are crazy. You know how people say that you're not your friend anymore or whatever, just like the big stuff that happens for little kids.
Oh, like, oh, I'm not your friend anymore, like that?
Yeah, but like the reason why, because you have back knee or whatever, just like something random. I'm just like, dang, they're kind of savage.
Yeah.
I don't know where I was going with that.
Neither do I. I have no idea. What day is today? Today is Thursday. So what is your week consisted of, my guy?
Just like a bunch of random, like, oh, we gotta go over here. Oh, we gotta go there. Oh,
Really?
yeah. So like sometimes my mom will wake me up at like 7:30 and tell me to go pick up Bella, and then out of nowhere she needs help to, or go drop her off in the morning, go pick her and Noah up. Like just random things I've been doing, like running stuff around the house, pretty much.
Yeah.
Um, but it just takes up time. It's like tedious time. So where you run out of time and you're like, oh, I can't even do this because I don't have time for that.
Yeah.
It's a consumer.
Honestly, I don't know. Like I've been starting to think. I think I'm gonna start making like lists for myself to be more productive.
I've been trying. I've been like losing my lists though.
Why don't you make a list in your phone and just have it set to remind you?
I have like 8 lists and it doesn't work. I have too many lists.
No, dude, you gotta do it in reminders. So you go here to reminders, and then you could set it to remind you to do all of these different things. You could set it to remind you to do this thing daily, weekly, monthly, or yearly. I use the reminders app a lot. But I'm starting to think that I'm gonna use it even more.
I'll check it out.
Yeah, because dude, it's crazy. Like today, I've been walking around with my pants on, and my pants are just getting looser and looser, like by the day. But
Because
it's
of the fasting.
yeah, dude, and just like watching what I eat in general, you know. But definitely the fasting, because let me see. I have a track. I have an app that tracks all of my fasts, and let me see my recent fasts. So I fasted 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 days in a row so far. I think. No, 9. It's my 9th day in a row. 16 hours a day. And that's the longest streak that I've had of actually keeping up with it. And I'm noticing like a difference, which is dope. Like it's motivating me to just keep doing it. But that app tracks it for me. It reminds me to do these things. I think like just setting myself up to be more productive is a dope thing. 'Cause I was reading that campaigner thing from the personality test, and it was like a lot of campaigners say, "Oh, if I were more productive, I would make it," you know? Like, and I'm like, "Well, I don't want that to happen to me.
Yeah.
I want to be productive."
How accurate do you feel like that thing was? Like,
I think it was pretty accurate.
yeah.
Yeah. Well, 'cause I already felt like we had the same personality type. So like that when I saw that I had got the same one as you, I was like, okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Completely.
That's funny though.
No, yeah.
It's funny to see the things we were like different on, because I was like, oh
Yeah. No, exactly. When I looked at the things that we were a little bit like, I was a little bit more towards the emotion side when I like picked. Or here, let's go over our stats.
yeah. Okay. Yeah. Hi,
Um,
y'all. Hey, look what time it is.
Fuck you.
That's funny.
Okay, so are you there or no?
Yeah. Are you on the percentages?
Yeah.
Okay. What is your mind?
My mind, it's 61% extroverted, 39% introverted.
Really?
Yeah, what's yours?
Okay, wait. So I want to say this. It says this trait determines how we interact with our environment. And so I'm 74% extroverted, 26% introverted.
I feel like that's accurate.
Yeah.
I like at sometimes. It
Yeah,
depends.
it's
Because
different.
like I could be more extroverted than you
No, right?
at times.
Yes.
But at times you could be more than me.
I think that's the next one.
Yeah.
The
So
next one is
energy. This trait shows where we direct our mental energy. Um, Mine is 71% intuitive, 29% observant.
wow. It's like 2%.
Oh.
Mine is 73% intuitive and 27% observant. So I observe 2% less than 2.
I feel like I observe more than that though, low key.
True.
Just because of just because of how good my memory is.
Yeah, that's true. Maybe I don't know. Didn't
'Cause-
account for your photographic memory,
Yeah,
Timothy.
no, exactly. That's what I was thinking. I was like, well, like I'm really observant though. But
All right.
so okay, the next one is nature.
Nature. It says, this trait determines how we make decisions and cope with emotions. All right, what is yours?
Mine is 15% thinking, 85% feeling.
Wow. Okay, mine is 19% thinking, 81% feeling, and I recognize the 4%.
Yeah, right?
The 4%
Is like
is
you're
when
teetering on the edge, and then I'm just like, oh fuck it, let's do it.
this is when Tim punches poles. That's his extra 4% right there.
I'm pissed.
Sorry, I couldn't help it. That was close.
That was.
All right.
The next one is tactics. It says this trait reflects our approach to work planning and decision making. So, mine is 47% judging, 53% prospecting.
Mine is 39% judging, 61% prospecting.
Wow, that one's pretty different. That one's like the most different one that we have.
What was yours?
47% judging and 53% prospecting.
Yeah, you judge more. No,
This trait reflects our approach to work planning and decision making.
that makes sense.
So like, yeah, I mean, yeah.
So I just make decisions. I don't know about that one.
Okay, the last one kind of made sense to me too. So the last one is identity.
It says, this trait underpins all others, showing how confident we are in our abilities and decisions.
So mine was 82% assertive and 18% turbulent.
Mine is 75% assertive, 25% turbulent.
I
That
could
makes
see that
so much
difference.
sense.
I
That
could
makes
see that.
so much sense.
Yeah, it it does. That's like the extra cockiness that I have, I would suppose.
What was your
Right.
strategy? Did you have a strategy
Strategy.
on your other one?
People mastery.
That's mine too. That's weird.
Yeah, basically fucking with people, right?
Yeah, like
Like
you know
you
what's
can
funny?
use it to do that. We talked about this actually on a podcast.
My mom always told me that like she didn't want to name my middle name Jacob because in the Bible, Jacob means trickster.
What's your middle name?
Jacob.
Oh, was it your dad's idea?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. So I ended up being Jacob, but she would have rathered me be who Jacob ends up being. But like Jacob is the one that gets his dad to give him the family blessing over his older brother by remembering that his dad is like half blind and then like putting wool over his arms to feel all like rugged and stuff. And so
Yeah.
he tricks his dad into giving him the blessing. And then he tricks his brother out of giving him the blessing again by making him a bowl of food, like his favorite food. And he sold his birthright for a bowl of chili.
Damn, what a savage.
And
What
he
an
got it.
absolute savage.
But he knew he would. Like he knew he would sell it. So Jacob was just like all like sneaky mouth.
Yeah, that sounds like you, bro. You're a trickster. You definitely are a trickster. You're a motherfucking like super troll. You got like you just have like a floating bridge. You stay under that bitch.
Yeah, I'm like a genie in a lamp.
Yeah, you're like a Will Smith in a lamp
There we go.
in a shitty movie.
Dude,
No,
I'm
I'm
like
just
Ben
kidding.
Stiller.
I haven't even seen Aladdin.
It's good. I
Is
like
it?
it. I like it. It's a good.
Oscar said it was bad.
What was bad?
I don't know. I have no idea. I don't. Sometimes I don't go with what Oscar judges from movies. I'll let him explain himself on the podcast.
Anton Ego
Anton Ego. I feel like that's a familiar name.
from Ratatouille,
Oh yeah,
and
the critic.
he goes, "You're thin for someone who eats so much," and he goes, "If I don't like it, I don't swallow." So like that's why he's so thin, because he never likes anybody's food. You know, the guy who made Ratatouille is the same guy who made The Incredibles.
You know, the guy who made The Incredibles is the same guy who made Ratatouille.
I knew that.
I'm just kidding, Chris. I'm sorry.
It's fine.
I was trolling you.
Doesn't matter.
It's
Whatever.
okay.
I know how it feels.
Sometimes you just have to get sometimes I gotta troll the troller.
No, I
You
know.
know,
It's okay.
I don't do it regularly.
It has to happen.
I normally I don't do it as cringy as that.
No.
Normally it's way
he's
more thought
smooth.
out. And it sometimes sometimes you don't even notice.
Exactly.
Or do I? Or doesn't he?
Or do I not?
Or does he?
I'm not even actually that high. These lights are just bright.
Yeah, your eyes are kind of red. I kind of want to get higher. I wish that we had an ounce already.
That'd be nice.
Hopefully you're going to get an ounce soon.
We'll think about it.
It's a good deal. It's a really good deal. If you think about it, how much did you pay for an ounce?
I don't even want to remember that.
How much did you pay?
I don't know. Over 200.
He paid over $200 for an ounce.
Yes, I remember. Oh, man.
And this is way less than that. I'm not going to give away the price because if I want to sell it, I'm going to sell it for more than that. You know? Got to make a profit. But, yeah. Well, I think that's the podcast, though.
That's been the podcast. I don't know if you can see me.
We're out.